Jamaica. Now let's get up to our ring announcer for the introduction of bout number 1. Here is Len Sterling.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. These wrestling exhibitions are sanctioned by the National Wrestling Alliance and are under the supervision of the Illinois State Athletic Commission. Your officials for this evening, the attending physician, Dr. Walter Barth, your timekeeper, Bob Klaus, your referee, Maury Friedman. This match will be to one fall. In this corner, weighing 222 pounds, from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Bad Boy Joe. In this corner, weighing 240 pounds, from St. Petersburg, Florida, John Paul Henning.
Well, the Bad Boy has his work cut out for him because he's going to take on a newcomer who is as highly touted as anybody we've seen in the rookie crop in the past couple of years, John Paul Henning from St. Petersburg, Florida. Now, I don't mean to imply by that John Paul is a rookie. However, he is not one of the old veterans as we have come to refer to them. He's been around a couple of 3 years, but is really just now taking his shot at the big time in wrestling. And when you want to go big time, you come to Chicago and wrestle on Wrestling Champions here at Marigold. Promoter Fred Kohler has said about John Paul Henning, and if anybody knows, Fred Kohler knows, Mr. Wrestling. And I quote Fred, John Paul Henning is going to be a top contender before he's done. But when you're moving up in the ranks, you are forced to face formidable foes such as Bad Boy Joe. Now, Bad Boy Joe is what they refer to as a spoiler, meaning very simply that you can come in with a great record against him and he'll spoil it for you. No doubt you can see that John Paul Henning certainly is the bigger of the two men. John is in at 240 pounds, stands 6'3". Bad Boy, 220 pounds, 5'10". He's from Green Bay, Wisconsin, originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota. One-time holder of the Michigan State heavyweight title. Has great ambitions to operate his own fishing and hunting club someday in the future. That's what he is striving for. Right now, he is striving for a way to get out of this wrist lock by John Paul Henning. John Paul is a former member of a UDT team. That's underwater demolition team in the United States Navy during the Korean War. In other words, he was a frogman. And he is all over Bad Boy Joe right now. Referee Maury Friedman looking on with great interest as John Paul Henning shows the stuff of which future champions are made. At least he certainly hopes so. Maury Friedman getting down there, ready to make a count if need be. As Bad Boy Joe apparently weakening under the punishing attack of the bigger man, John Paul Henning. John Paul plays it according to the book, at least from what we have seen of him he does. And this is the type of man that the promoters are looking for in building a contender. And let's face it, a contender must be built. He's got to be given the shots at the men that he must defeat in order to move into a contending position. And that is up to the promoters, of course. If they don't feel a man has the proper color or the ability, they're not going to match him with the top men. But they're giving Mr. John Paul Henning a close look. And you'll notice that when referee Maury Friedman called for a break, John Paul gave him a quick and clean break. And that will be chalked down as a merit in his little scoreboard. And he flipped Bad Boy right over that time before putting on that stretch on the left arm of Bad Boy Joe. He's a good-looking boy, too. Notice the tattoos on the upper right forearm and lower, or the upper arm and the lower left forearm of Bad Boy Joe. Now the one on the upper right arm is that of a Pirate. Wonder if he's a Pittsburgh fan. Bad Boy Joe's best offense so far has been a defense. Takedown by the hair, and just as we were mentioning, Bad Boy Joe going to the hair. And he's going to make salad out of the ears of John Paul Henning if he doesn't look out. Right over the top, a 240 pounder going straight up in the air. Pair of drop kicks. He's on top of Joe. Bow and arrow. Oh, I think we've had it. That's all. Maury Friedman calls off the wolf. The wolf in this case being John Paul Henning. And Bad Boy Joe is dispatched with relative ease here tonight. Here's the ring announcer, Len Sterling, and we'll make it official with his announcement.
The time was 5 minutes, 55 seconds. A concession hold called the bow and arrow. The winner of the match, John Paul Henning.
You know, there are all kinds of wrestlers, good, bad, and indifferent. There are also fairly nice-looking men, some that are not so good-looking, and real good-looking men. And here's one that falls into that category, and I do not mean to do him injustice when I say this is one of the really great-looking guys in the ring from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Jack Allen.
Thanks a lot, Len. I appreciate that.
Jack, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know that in listening to the fans talk, they think you're about as good-looking a fellow as they've seen in the ring. So this leads me to the question. Do you find that in wrestling, possibly when you take on an opponent that may not be blessed with God-given looks, that they go a little bit out of their way to try to get you?
Yeah, I find that quite a bit. I find that like when I wrestle any of these, like Johnny Case or something, they'll try and do you some injury. In the face or in the body. They'll try to mar you.
Work on the ears or the nose or the eyes.
I've been very fortunate because I don't seem to get injured too much.
And this is probably just jealousy and the fact that you have been blessed with nice-looking features and they maybe not, or as the old saying goes, they were standing behind the door when they gave out the good look.
Yeah, that's true.
So actually, when you're taking on a fellow that is not what you call good looking, you have to be double wary for infliction of disfiguring punishment.
That's true. They figure they can get a better reputation by beating a cleaner looking fella too. See, because the cleaner fella, the audience takes to him more like they would a son or a brother. So when one of these guys can damage you, that enhances his reputation quite a lot.
I'm sure it does. And Jack, just stay good looking. I know you will if you keep wrestling like you have
Thank you,
been.
man. I appreciate it.
Nice talking to you. Jack.